Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC 229 Khabib versus McGregor. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight prediction on the card, our first fight on the card. So in our first fight on the card, we have in the welterweight division, Ryan LaFleur versus Tony Martin. So Tony Martin, long time lightweight in the UFC, kind of was like up and down. Well, he wasn't really too up and down, but he was really never really got to the top upper echelon of his division. He was in the UFC, competing well, but not really like a superstar breakout fighter in the lightweight division. But he was a solid, well-rounded fighter. And now he's coming up, well, it's not even his first fight at welterweight, but it's like his second or third fight at welterweight. But pretty much a solid fighter, good performance in his last fight. And that's pretty much what he is, a solid fighter, good frame, good technique, but nothing super stellar about him. You got Ryan LaFleur, somebody who looked like they could actually been something in the sport for a good minute right now. He's coming off of, I think, a bad loss, got uppercutted to sleep by Alex Oliveira. I think that's his last fight. But he was looking good up until then. And like as far as his style, okay striking, very athletic, solid wrestling, and he has really good top control, a lot of pressure, and he has good cardio, and he can push a good pace, so he's a solid fighter. I think definitely he'll be the stronger fighter. I think physically he'll have more muscle mass on him, and then like it won't be a hindrance to him because he can push a high pace with that muscle mass as well. I think as far as wrestling, I give Ryan LaFleur a significant wrestling advantage, grappling advantage, overall better MMA fighter in my opinion. I think Tony Martin is going to have a slight speed advantage and some slight technical advantage as far as striking, but I think Ryan LaFleur's wrestling and pressure is going to be too much for Tony Martin. I see him just taking him down, grinding him out. And I see like a late stoppage via TKO. So in this fight, I have Ryan LaFleur via third round TKO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Maynard versus Nick Lentz. So Maynard was at featherweight. I'm not sure when he came back up, but I think this is his first fight back up, and he's fighting Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz had some decent performances at lightweight and decent performance here and there. He kind of up and down, have his moments, then have his setbacks. But as far as styles goes, I think it's a decent style match for both of them. Maynard's older now, much older now, and I think he really hasn't evolved. Nick Lentz has gotten better, but it's not like he has gotten that much better that it's gonna be he'd be a clear favorite to beat Maynard anyway. So I think they're still evenly matched in a way at this point. So it's a fair matchup for both of them. As far as style matchup, it's not like Nick Lentz has like as a power puncher that he's gonna hurt Maynard so much. Like the people that have stopped Maynard recently, he's not gonna run from him or have some amazing Brazilian jiu-jitsu that Maynard has to worry about. I think it's pretty much kind of a throwback matchup as far as style matches for Maynard. He's gonna be able to fight somebody that's a solid mixed martial artist, like with a guillotine, then some okay striking, okay grappling, and Maynard is still going to be, I think, still has his still wrestling pressure. He still has a very technical fighter. It's just that he's still in the past almost. Like the game has evolved, but he's still in the past. But we had in the past was still effective, and it's still somewhat effective today. His style, he's older and the game has evolved. It's not like Nick Lentz is some new young fighter. He's a kind of like a throwback fighter as well, but he's managed to evolve a little bit more than Maynard. But in this fight, I think Nick Lentz is not going to have that power to really deter Maynard. Maynard still gonna have his wrestling pressure, and be able to take Nick Lentz down, kind of grind some decisions. I think on the feet, it's not like Nick Lentz is striking so much better than Maynard or this and that. And their striking is about even. I think Maynard will have the power. I think Nick Lentz maybe cleaned up his technique a little bit better and adjusted it better, so it'll be a little bit better technique. But Maynard will have the power. He'll have the wrestling, and I think he's gonna be able to edge him out with the wrestling, get those takedowns, get some control on there, avoid the guillotine, and win a pretty close fight. But I have Maynard in this fight via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Scott Holtzman versus Alan Patrick. So Scott Holtzman, another one of these fighters, well-rounded. They could stay in the division. They could like pretty much be like a lower tier, mid-tier type of gate guardian. They're solid everywhere, but they lack that necessary factor to jump up the division. But they could give pretty much anybody they fight some challenge. And if you're really going to be a star, you're supposed to beat them. If you're not, you're going to kind of lose them. But he's managed to stay around, keeps a good winning, stay on the winning end of things. He's not really like somebody most time when he's fighting, he's winning. So like another one of those type of fighters, but he's not really bumping himself up into that upper echelons. But he's been around for a decent little minute now. The Alan Patrick, I think he has that kind of a little bit of that it factor, but it's not like he's a young fighter either. He's been around for a minute, but I think he's just been able to beat a little bit higher competition than Scott Holtzman has been able to beat. I think he has a little bit more of that explosiveness. He has the takedown, like the ability to take down people down. He has the ability to change gear and knock people out at times. So he has a little bit of that, but he doesn't seem like he's still not a person that can't really make their way into the top upper echelon. But they have for at least some people nipping around that level. So I think Alan Patrick just on a little bit higher level than Scott Holtzman, but they're still roughly they're in the same division. It's best I can say that. I think Scott Holtzman's striking going to be about even. I think if I give Alan Patrick with his range and his height advantage there. Grappling wise, I think Alan Patrick's going to have athleticism, be that ability to explode and change levels. Even though it's not like the most technical, it's kind of awkward. I think he'll be able to secure takedowns. I think he'll be able to use his footwork, use his foot movement a lot of times. Like, depending on who he's fighting, I don't think he's going to need it too much because Scott Holtzman not really a power puncher. But I think he'll mix it in, get some takedowns, use some footwork. And it's going to be one of those, I don't think it's going to be too much of an exciting fight. It'll be kind of one of the point fight almost. Maybe not to the fact that they're just like trying to throw one shot here and there, but in fact it's like really not a lot significant going on, like super significant going on. I think Alan Patrick just wins with having the volume and having the takedown. So in this fight, I have Alan Patrick via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the women's bantamweight division, Lena Landsberg versus Jana Kunis. So two women who fought Cyborg, both got destroyed. Lena Landsberg, gritty fighter, she could take a lot of damage. She's a striker. I think primarily that's her background, Muay Thai and stuff. So very durable, very tough, very gritty, well-rounded enough. That's what she does. Jana Kunis, I don't know how well-rounded she is, but I think she's more of a grappler, okay striking. And I'm going to go towards like Kunis. I think Lena Landsberg, she showed her toughness in her last fight and all these other fights. But I think she showed like kind of opening to grappling. Like she was too willing with the grappling exchanges in her last fight. And she was just kind of barely able to edge it out just by landing volume. But she was a lot of times in a less advantageous position, but she was just winning because she would be the one still managed to land strikes there. But I think against Kunis, if you're too willing with these grappling exchanges, I think Kunis is going to be able to take her down and grab her and like pretty much if you're on top, you're winning. Like get some takedowns, maybe go attempt some submissions. I don't think she's really going to secure anything, but I think she's going to be able to win just by being on top, getting those takedowns, and at least keeping the striking at least even enough. I think Landsberg is going to be winning the striking exchanges, but when those takedowns come to fact, I think Kunis is going to be stealing rounds and take it like what's called winning with ride time and control time, and that's going to win her the fight. So not the most technically or amazing, exciting fight, but it's going to be, I have Jana Kunis via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the women's bantamweight division, Aspen versus Tonya Evinger. So Aspen looking like this new breed or this new generation of fighter. Tonya Evinger has been around for a minute. Both well-rounded fighters, both deadly. I'm gonna pretty much gonna go with the new, or you're gonna go with the experience. I'm gonna leave with Tonya Evinger. I think Aspen is a beast on the feet. She has submission as well, good finishing ability and finishing instinct. Tonya Evinger, she has that veteran savage. She's fought in the best or most of the best. She definitely fought the best in Cyborg. So she's been around and she's fought some good competition. She has good solid grappling. She's a gritty fighter, and I think that's gonna be a good test for a young fighter. I think she's gonna be able to pull off the win just by, like I said, having that experience and being there before, being there against the best, very best, maybe the best ever. As a matter of fact, Cyborg is the best female ever. So she's been in there with the best ever, and she's fought in pretty much the best people. And Aspen hasn't really fought necessarily to that level. I think Tonya Evinger is going to be able to find ways to win just with that veteran savvy in another type of gritty back and forth fight. No finish, but I'm going to have Tonya Evinger via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Vicente Luque versus Jalen Turner. So not too much looking into Jalen Turner. I think he's decent, all right fighter. But Vicente Luque, in my opinion, I've been saying this for a minute, is one of the best strikers, like with top 5, top 6, top 10. I would say top 5 best strikers in the welterweight division right now. Solid fighter, working on his grappling, that's improving. He already had what I think a good Darce choke and some good submissions. But even then, it's like his overall grappling is getting better. His striking was already sharp and getting sharper. And he's already pretty much should be on his way to being in the top 15, top 10. And really, he could probably already beat some people in there right now. So I don't know why this matchup been made, but I'm going to have Vicente Luque via second round TKO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, Sergio Pettis versus Jussier Formiga. So Formiga, definitely solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, deadly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And his striking has been getting him better. When he first came in the UFC, people were just stopping him in like the first second. Well, at least the good people like Dawson and Benavidez were stopping him. Like they were just walking through him on the feet. But I think his striking has come along much better now. And so he's a much more well-rounded fighter and still has that daily grappling, and his overall game is getting better. And then you can say the same about Sergio Pettis, younger fighter. His grappling, takedown defense is getting better. His grappling, I don't know if it's necessarily got too much better, but I'm saying his defense and awareness of grappling has gotten better. And his striking, he knows where to put the shot better. His defense has improved. And I feel like Sergio Pettis is a younger fighter. He's improving more. And I think it's more his time. I think the way he was able to defend most of Joseph Benavidez' takedowns and deal with Joseph Benavidez. I still think Benavidez won that fight, but I think against Formiga, I think his takedowns won't necessarily be as good as Benavidez, but maybe his work rate on the ground will be better if he gets him there. But as far as his initial shot, I think Sergio Pettis will be able to defend those shots pretty well and pretty much be able to tag him, pick him apart when he try and accept those takedowns. And I see Sergio Pettis stopping him in the second round. So in this fight, I have Sergio Pettis via second round TKO. So now to our prelim headliner, we have in the bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley versus Jose Alberto Quinones. So pretty much off the bat, Sean O'Malley, I got him in this fight, but Jose Alberto Quinones is like no joke either. He's been improving well from like I think his season with like the tough Latin American season he came off or something. Started his career I think with like almost like came in the UFC almost 500, like as many losses he had wins, but like his shape improved, his fitness improved, his skill sets improved, and he has certainly come along well. I think he's riding like a 3-fight winning streak, looking the best he's ever looked and keeping improving. I see that with a lot of people coming off these Latin American seasons because I mean, MMA is big, but it's still span and people, it's still new to people, so they got to get better. And I'm saying from Latin American fighters, I'm saying like a significant jump in their skill set. Like they're getting to the right teams, they're learning what to do, they're learning skill set. At first, it's like they were so raw, like they didn't know much stuff, and they were just doing stuff, and like this look kind of like look very amateurish. Now like they're finally becoming pros right before your eyes, and it's like really impressive. But and Albert Quinones is one of those people. But against Sean O'Malley, I think that's just not gonna be enough. I think Sean O'Malley is gonna be the longer fighter, taller fighter, rangier fighter. Just fight at a different speed and brings a wide, like a huge arsenal of strikes. So it's not gonna be this is like maybe a couple fights down the line or maybe some more improvements. But right now, Sean O'Malley is just I think he just butted into a very good fighter. And at this moment right now, I think it's gonna be too much for Alberto Quinones. Sean O'Malley on the feet just like brings too much, and he'll be I say a significantly better striker. I think Quinones is tough, and if he could maybe make it a tough fight, he could win. But Sean O'Malley is not really going to allow him. It's going to be bringing so much different things at him, so much variety that it's kind of going to shut Quinones down. And as far as grappling, I say Sean O'Malley's the better wrestler, better grappler. So he pretty much beats Quinones in every single factor of this fight. So I don't think Sean O'Malley's not necessarily like you see him go further on his career. I don't think he's going to be like a power puncher. Like maybe when he's coming up in the lower in the ranks, the power it seems like he's a power puncher. But I think really he's going to be a volume puncher as he goes further into his career. I think he's going to be like stop Quinones with like that one punch. I think it's going to be like kind of like a volume stoppage over the rounds where he's wearing Quinones down, just keep hitting him and tagging him with all these different strikes from all these different angles, and then eventually start to break him down. And I see like a third round stoppage. So in this fight, I have Sean O'Malley via third round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for UFC 229, Khabib versus McGregor, the prelims. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.